Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another episode of the Islamic Magic of Sharia. First, I would like to say thanks and bless all of those who have come to attend this service. My name is Prince Ali Tareem Al-Dor. I'm the Sultan of Oman here in the Commonwealth. And whereas we take parts of the world as in an application on a computer or anything of ascertainability, and we give homage to other places in the world. My place in this world is as so. I'm here to discuss the relative nature of those who say they are Muslims and are not. Those who say they are Muslims and are not have all of the right and all of the ability to say that they are, but they're really not. They give homage to Allah, they give homage to the gods, but how many of those who say that they are Muslims and are not say that they love God and do not? There are many of those who say that they are in love with Allah and His principalities, but believe not in the truth. Therefore, the truth will not stand for them and will not justify them. I pay homage and refuge to Allah, our God, our Savior of all the worlds. And He is the one who exalts me. He gives me power. He gives me belief. And He gives me relinquish. There is no other God but Allah. Thee do we worship, your aid do we seek. Show us the straight path, the way of those on whom you bestow your grace, not in the way of those on whom you show evil, and lead us into the straight direction. Now, I'm not here to criticize anyone, nor am I here to tell people that they should not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Here at the Islamic Magic of Sharia, I have been able to form ranks and to have people join me as members of my service, but I am sure that this will all change within the next 5 years. For I will no longer be the Islamic Magic Sharia here, residing where I am now, here today. I will formally be making appearances all over the East Coast and into every masjid along its 95 expressway. I do not want those who do not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to hear this, and I'm going to be very crude and say, because they are not believers of Allah. And those who have studied from 35 to 50 years and are not believers of Allah and have this information, you have something in which I should kill you for. And will kill you for. Because if you think that you're going to study something for 35 to 50 years and don't know what the secret is, that even though you study from 35 to 50 years, that you will be brought amongst us so that you will be treated more fairly, that your head still will be taken by the sword. And those who don't want to understand that are the same people who study along with the people and become partners with them. And I'm glad that they have, because it gives me more work to do. Maybe my effort would change when those who have studied from 35 to 50 years come amongst the believers and do the proper training as they are supposed to, and not take upon their own selves to do whatever it is that they like. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said many times in the Quran and the Sunnah Hadith of the Quran that there is no compulsion in Islam. You have formed a hatred. We have formed a hatred between you and I. That this hatred has turned you into our enemy. And because you are our enemy, we will intend to kill you and destroy you like we had done the people of Thamud and Ad. And the people before you, who were the Thamud and Ad people. Those who decide not to understand what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke or is saying are the very ones in whom continues to destroy what revelation subhanahu wa ta'ala is, that to be discussed between those who understand who the Savior is and who do not. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the Savior. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the messenger of Allah. Not the other way around. We cannot form partners with Allah, but we can understand other parts and other sects of Islam. Like I said, there is no compulsion in Islam. We have formed a hatred between us that would never become a partnership. And because you have done this, the partnership in which we have will only destroy you and your people. I'm not angry, nor am I mad. I'm only disgusted that somebody who has been taken care of so well will say to a person who continues to try to do everything that they possibly can to benefit them, to turn their back. This proves that what they say about those who come from the Caucasus are El Shaitan. El Shaitan is a grafted person that is no longer original. And just like they say Allah is not a man, the spirit of Allah lives within every man. Because if you have the power to choose between Christianity, Jew, Hinduism, Buddhism, and Islam, every God lives through that spirit of that man or that woman. But El Shaitan has no history. They live without the respect towards all of those religions and have not one for themselves, because there's nothing else that makes up their generations of people. They have been taken out of every country. They have been raped with all of the knowledge of themselves the same way as the black man. And because the black man has, they have taken the knowledge of the black man and which would belong to them. And they'll even destroy that. I don't have very much more time to discuss the problems within inside of this resolution, in which I'm here to state for a brief second that any man who bears witness to the truth and then turns back therefrom will become the enemy to Allah and his companion. There are still Shahaba of Allah, for there are still people who come from the lineage of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his birth. But no man can trace back the record of the said date of Islam, which is Allah. Therefore, no man can say that Allah is not a man, because they don't know when the first man was born to the face of the earth, because Adam and Eve were the first Caucasian. Adam and Eve were not black. They were stripped of everything in the Garden of Eden, where all of the other gods lived. They just had not met them yet. At the beginning of every game that's played on Nintendo or Sony PlayStation, you start from a place where it's very easy, where they lure you into a place where you have to meet the ultimate supremacy at the end of the level. Each person who gets to the end of the level, who faces defeat at the end, starts again. Can you play those games with Allah? Can you seek vengeance against an enemy that is not your enemy, and then think that you will become partners with him again when you find out that you have been doing things to him or her in which you find that is not respected by him or her, and they forgive you time and time again? Once a person in Islam decides that they are no longer a Muslim, or a Muslim does not respect the fact that they have become a Muslim and have learned all the secrets of their society, and they have turned their backs, it's not permissible. And this is why people become what they call terrorists, because you cannot allow someone to know all of the secrets of life in the way that Adam and Eve did, because they were taught the secrets of life. Because when they ate from the Garden of Eden from the tree of life, they were told that now that is what they will be taught. So therefore, if that's what they were taught, and they were not supposed to teach anyone else, not Cain, not Abel. The fight between Cain and Abel came back for how much they knew. I'm not Cain. I'm not Abel. I'm not even Enoch. But there are some things that people will say and will discuss and believe. And whether or not the discussion is worth even taking a note or trying to follow within depth, it only becomes something in which someone else will provide information to ridicule, not to increase their abundance. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. There is no other God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. Allahu Akbar.